This is Audi's new Q2, and unlike its elder siblings, the Q3 or Q5, which bear a striking resemblance to the Q7, the Q2 has a distinctive look of its own. Strong character lines and sculpting below the window line and the contrast color floating blade C-pillar give the car a fresh appeal. The roof slopes down to the rear, offering a coupe-like stance. The large grille with a thick chrome frame extends almost to the sides of the car, dominating the front and making it look very beefy. In contrast, the rear sits squat and looks like a hatchback. Overall, it definitely looks like a young member of the family and has oodles of attitude. The interiors are impressive thanks to top-notch quality. Simply put, the Q2 doesn't feel like an entry-level SUV at all, and that's something that will go down well with Indian customers. The seats are comfortable and you get a large extent of height adjust, but all adjustments, whether slide, backrest or height, are manual. Notably, there is no sunroof, a favorite for the Indian market. Look closer and you will find some harder, cheaper plastics on the door pads, but by just changing the shade to a little deeper tone, Audi have integrated them beautifully. Boot space is pretty impressive too at 405 litres and can be expanded to 1050 litres by flipping the seats down. The European version featured here is also equipped with heads-up display. The Q2 has multiple options of engines. There are two petrol units, a 1-litre 3-cylinder TFSI churning out 116 horsepower and a 1.4 TFSI producing 150 horsepower. The diesels on offer will be a 1.6 TDI with 116 horsepower and a 2-litre TDI in two states of tune, a 150 horsepower and a 190 horsepower version. In India, we will probably get the 1.4 petrol and the 2-litre diesel. The one being driven here is the more powerful 190 horsepower version of the 2-litre TDI. The 2-litre engine feels punchy and there's no discernible lag, but the meat of the power band comes in really after 2000 RPM. Below that mark, it will still respond to throttle inputs but with less vigor. The performance of the engine feels good largely due to the S-tronic gearbox. While it's smooth and quick to swap cogs when you drive at an even pace, demand a sudden burst of power and it hesitates a slight bit before shifting down. But a quick dab at the paddles resolves that. You can switch between comfort, dynamic or eco mode to suit your style of driving. The steering is precise, but it does have a bit of dead weight at center when cruising at high speeds. Switch to dynamic mode and the steering does get a little more weight, but body control is good and the Q2 is happy to change directions quite deftly. The Q2 feels at ease taking corners. It's not pulse quickening dynamic capability, but there is still a fun factor from behind the wheel that the Q2 offers, making you want to continue driving. Small country roads, urban slow-speed traffic, or the highway, the Q2 is a good companion. Whilst elsewhere in the world, SUVs like the Q2, which are small and to put it into perspective smaller than a Duster, will be owner-driven, in India it's likely that people will be chauffeured around. On that count, the Q2 backseat is good considering its exterior dimensions. The seats offer good support overall as well. Though the roads in Zurich are buttery smooth, the ride did feel on the firmer side. The Q2 is positioned below the A3 and we expect its base versions to be priced marginally less too, but there will be some overlap areas. Expect the Q2 to be launched towards the end of the year.